Fishermen's sea voyages are risky, but the potential for big catches makes it worthwhile. These are the fishermen's greatest moments at sea. Before casting nets, they watch for seabirds or small fish schools that tuna often hunt. They use massive seine nets designed to encircle entire schools of fish. These nets can stretch hundreds of meters long and about 170 meters deep. Once released, the net's mouth is drawn closed like a giant bag, trapping tuna inside. This process typically takes several hours to complete. Finally, a powerful crane hauls in the net, bringing the fish close to the boat. Once aboard, the tuna is quickly frozen at -40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower to maintain quality. Snapper typically inhabits the seafloor, so fleets focus on areas with strong currents and abundant food sources. While hauling the net, fishermen must monitor tension and adjust as needed to prevent tearing. Care is taken to avoid damaging the fish's skin or flesh, crucial for fresh supply and export markets. Hauling a net is time-consuming and requires significant strength. A modern crane system pulls the net onto the ship. To maintain quality, snappers are immediately stored in cold rooms at 32 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Pollock fishing is currently active in the western Bering Sea. About 79 Russian fishing vessels operate in this area. Russian fishermen caught over 2.87 billion pounds of pollock in early 2024. Pollocks usually caught 3 to 3.5 miles out, at depths of 600 to 700 meters. Fishers drag nets deeper as pollock schools move along the ocean floor. They control trawl nets on both sides to quickly encircle the fish. Pollock catches in the Bering Sea often come with king crab. Fishers must quickly separate king crabs to keep fish quality high. Catching small fish is tough, as they're hard to clean fast. Fish lose freshness if left too long in the sun on deck. Currently, freezing is the best method for preservation. Quick, precise net handling is crucial to prevent injury or escape of small fish. Modern trawlers use eco-friendly nets that meet environmental regulations. Fishermen work to minimize bycatch of non-target species. Small fish are often placed directly in cold storage without processing. Some modern vessels use nitrogen or CO2 systems to keep fish fresh longer. Global mackerel production is about 8 billion pounds, mainly from North Atlantic and Pacific. Large vessels set sail as mackerel move along Scotland's deep water coasts. Trips last about a month, but fish quality is maintained throughout. The global mackerel market is expected to reach 1 million consumers. Dollars by 2023. Modern ships and strict fishing methods are key drivers of mackerel fishing growth. Fishermen play a survival game at sea. They locate tuna schools and set a massive trap. Tuna swim unaware into the net enclosure. When fishermen pull the net, it's too late. All the tuna will be on board. Tuna are crane lifted onto the ship via conveyor. For quality, tuna are quickly frozen to keep the meat fresh. Fishermen spend weeks at sea hunting tuna schools. Tuna's speed and range make netting challenging. Crews face harsh conditions and must freeze tuna to maintain quality. Compared to trawling, anchovy fishing in Nangjangmang is more labor-intensive. Anchovies are caught using a method called long bag netting. It's a trap with a long rod and net set on the shallow seabed. Fishers wait for anchovies that move together near the water's surface. They often migrate along the coast in spring and summer. When the tide rises, anchovies get caught in the net. A key feature is an extra net inside the main one to prevent fish escaping. This is a traditional anchovy fishing method along Korea's southern coast. The Korean mackerel fishing season runs from October to March. Then, as water warms, mackerel migrate west, peaking fish numbers. In 2023, South Korea caught about 330 million pounds of mackerel. Once fishermen haul the mackerel aboard using crane systems, it's placed on a conveyor belt. The fish is then pre-treated and stored in cold water to keep it fresh. For a successful trip, fishers use large boats with GPS to locate mackerel schools before fishing. Each vessel is also equipped with ice to preserve the mackerel's freshness until reaching shore. Next, we come to the flounder fishing boats. This fish is commercially caught and consumed worldwide. Flounder's flat body makes it easy to catch as it clings to the seabed and escapes slowly. As the ship moves slowly, the trawl net drags along the bottom, trapping the flounder. However, this method also brings other seafood onto the ship. Some areas restrict trawling, using regulated mesh sizes to reduce bycatch. Taiwan's prime location on tuna migration routes creates ideal conditions for its ocean tuna fishing industry. Dozens of bluefin tuna thrashed violently on the rough surface until exhausted. The tuna gave up, and fishermen hauled them into the boat by their tails. Purse seine fishing is considered the world's oldest form of industrial fishing. This method catches large quantities while maintaining top-quality tuna. It meets strict standards of major markets like Japan, the US, and Europe. Did you know Alaska's salmon season yields over 150 million fish, weighing over 742 million pounds? Average profit is $230 million, sometimes reaching nearly $800 million annually. The salmon industry is the world's most important fishing industry. Alaska. Catching and processing big salmon is tough, but it's worth it. Each year, thousands of fishermen await summer to earn money catching Alaskan salmon. This is Korea's biggest cutlass fish catch of the year. Cutlass fish are caught in fall and winter. Fishermen brave strong sea winds. They endure cold on rocking boats while pulling nets. Despite winter gales, they may raise and lower nets dozens of times daily. Sorting cutlass fish quickly for freshness requires many hands working together. Marlin can be caught using various techniques depending on the location. In Indonesia, ships often use nets to catch marlin. Fishermen choose a good spot and cast their nets. The net stays in the sea for about 4 to 6 hours. After that, the fishermen began pulling in the net to check. If lucky, they'll find giant marlins. Marlin are so heavy that each catch needs 4 to 5 fishermen to pull the net. They work together well to control and remove the marlin from the net. For safety, fishermen may cut off its sharp bill. This is a weapon that could injure the fisherman. Then, they'll wash the fish and clean it to prepare for preservation. Pollock trawlers operate mostly in fall, winter, and spring. Fishermen say pollock season, January to April, is most profitable on trawlers. Modern tech and old fishing methods boosted seafood industry efficiency. Trawling for 2 hours can yield over 100 tons, depending on the season and fish density in the area. When using hydraulic equipment, the entire net lifting operation takes no more than 30 minutes. This system quickly pulls the net, minimizes fish damage, and ensures product quality. The number of people involved in the entire fishing operation has decreased from about 14 to 6. Fire fishing is a method developed by Taiwan's indigenous people. This unique fishing technique primarily serves fish sauce processing factories. Fishers spend up to 6 hours nightly catching 60 to 80 pounds of sardines, earning up to $4,500 per night. Under darkness, a small group of Taiwanese fishermen set sail off the northeast coast. They light a fire atop a bamboo pole and wait for fish to arrive. Light fires are mainly used for night fishing. Like magnets, hundreds of sardines leapt towards the bright light until the net was pulled aboard. Ever wondered what modern fishermen use to catch fish? Technology has transformed all industries, including fishing. Annually, fishers use modern machinery to catch billions of fish. Beyond nets and rods, they use sonar, GPS, and modern gear to aid their catch. Japan, Chile, and China produce 49% of the world's mackerel. Japanese firms have developed improved mackerel fishing methods. This can meet buyers' needs and enter new markets. Fishermen use rapid cooling on boats to keep mackerel fresh. They sail to southern seas like Papua New Guinea to catch mackerel. Each trip lasts 3-4 weeks, fishing 8-9 times yearly. Mackerel fishing here is quite unique. It blends classic techniques with modern tech and huge nets. Japanese fishers use improved nets like gill nets to catch more mackerel. Mackerel feed early morning or late afternoon. Fishermen exploit these times to maximize their catch. Choosing fishing time, method, and location is crucial. Mackerel inhabit temperate and tropical waters. They often live in areas with strong currents near coral reefs. Fishermen can spot schools of fish jumping to the water's surface. This sign tells them it's an area of mackerel activity. Fishing also relies on skilled fishermen's expertise after casting huge nets. Then they prepare for the harvest. Machines pull the net full of mackerel into the ship. Fishermen carefully extract fish to avoid damaging the meat. After loading, workers take the mackerel to the ship's hold. All mackerel are kept in seawater until reaching the shore. Preservation methods like freezing or vacuum sealing help maintain fish freshness and quality for long periods, meeting domestic consumer demand and more. It also opens export opportunities in the global market. Mackerel and sushi rolls with veggies creates a unique dining experience. The chef slices the mackerel thinly. This method preserves mackerel's fresh, crisp flavor. Mackerel dishes are tasty and highly nutritious. Zawara, Russia, and Norway boast modern crab fishing fleets. Crab fishing thrives in rich grounds like the Bering and Barents Seas. A typical crab boat carries 150 to 300 traps. This is the key tool in mud crab fishing. Bering sea crab fishing demands strength and perseverance. Fishers must also select the right type of trap. Mud crab traps typically range from 6 to 8 feet long and 2 to 3 feet high. They're used to catch small crabs, like snow crabs. King crab traps can be improved with smaller openings and extra mesh layers. Choosing the right trap size is crucial to reduce sorting and crab mortality. The bait smell helps keep crabs inside the trap. If briefly submerged, the bait fish releases its scent. Small animals in the trap are drawn to the smell and stay put. After hauling, fishers sort the catch to stay within quota limits. Careless sorting may lead to illegal harvesting of undersized crabs. This also causes unnecessary deaths of very small crabs. Snow crab fishing typically takes place in harsh weather conditions, and cold winds increase the mortality rate of snow crabs as the freezing of their internal organs worsens when temperatures drop. Thus, modern size selective traps on the seafloor are the ideal method. The bait is usually made from herring or cod. Traps are typically dropped at an average depth of about 350 feet. They can remain submerged in the sea for a day or two. Wind cages can weigh nearly 200 kilograms. They weigh 800 pounds when they hit the water. So how can they be pulled back onto the ship? Fishermen use a hydraulic system to lift the trap. On average, each boat catches about 300 crabs. It took them several days to find and catch the crab. But if you're lucky, the boat's cabin will be full of crabs. Crabs must be kept alive from capture to delivery, which can take up to a week or 10 days. Modern boats often have large crab tank designs for this purpose. Seawater is pumped through pipes to keep the crabs alive. As soon as the crabs leave the boat, they enter the processing plant. There, they are killed, cooked, and then frozen. Once frozen, the crabs are canned and shipped to become part of your exciting meal. Next, we return to shrimp from the nutrient-rich Gulf of Mexico waters. Shrimp has a rich, sweet flavor unlike any other seafood. Bringing fresh seafood inland is a challenging journey for fishermen. Modern fishing equipment also plays a crucial role. The design of a shrimp boat is highly complex. From outriggers to net opening gear, each component is vital for a successful trip. These nets are unique, catching shrimp while protecting other marine life. Radar helps fishermen locate shrimp, maximizing their catch efficiently. Fishermen typically catch about 500,000 pounds of shrimp per season. For smaller shrimp, like pink shrimp, fishing usually lasts no more than 2 hours. Pulling the net too long will bruise the pink shrimp and reduce quality. The net can be briefly lifted to remove excess mud from the catch. On board, fishermen remove stones and debris, then thoroughly wash the shrimp. Live shrimp must be kept in cold seawater at the right temperature. Fishers often use shaved ice mixed with shrimp for quick, complete cooling. Using chilled salt water can minimize unwanted oxidation in shrimp meat. Before cooking or peeling, rinse shrimp in water to remove mucus. Peeling can be done by hand or machine before or after cooking. If peeled raw, keep shrimp on ice for hours to loosen shells easily. Grouper is one of the most valuable fish on the planet. Grouper fishing is thrilling, offering many chances but also challenges. Anglers can try grouper fishing in various locations worldwide. Generally, any offshore area with wrecks and coral reefs attracts them. Spring is the best time to set sail for grouper fishing. Most groupers spawn in winter, so spring's ideal for finding many feeding. The most common technique in grouper fishing is bait casting. After adding lead to the line, throw the bait to the bottom. The grouper will rush towards the bait. Once the fish bites, the angler will hold tight and reel in quickly. If fish pull hard, they'll reel slowly to avoid breaking the line. After catching, groupers are stored in the ship's ice hold. This keeps the fish fresh until it reaches the shore. Anglers must follow regional quotas and fishing regulations. They must measure caught fish. Undersized groupers are released. Fishermen use sonar to find grouper-rich areas, boosting success. This method helps them catch fish more easily. Sonar sends signals. Sound waves bounce back when hitting objects. The coast of America, a magical world awaits where billions of shrimp are ready to be discovered and harvested. Shrimp fishing isn't just crucial to the seafood industry, it's an integral part of local culture and life. We'll now follow American fishermen to learn about their adventurous journey and how they catch billions of shrimp. Along the U.S. Atlantic coast, shrimp are mainly found in the waters of Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. They inhabit muddy, soft bottoms in waters about 30,000 feet deep. Shrimp migrate with seasonal changes in water temperature. They're only common in coastal waters during late winter and spring when it's cooler. Egg-bearing female shrimp come to shore in late fall and winter. From February to April, after eggs hatch, female shrimp head back to offshore waters in the western Gulf of Maine. The average American eats about 4.1 pounds of shrimp each year. But how do we catch these tasty crustaceans? Actually, restaurant shrimp come from various sources. Though all are local, catching methods can differ. One type is caught on small boats using round nets cast into the sea. Here, coastal fishers can only catch shrimp near shore or in estuaries. Economic factors determine the boats, gear, and tools fishermen use. The crew on this small boat is throwing out their nets. The catch size will match the amount of shrimp collected. Naturally, it won't be as large as big commercial vessels. The second type is shrimp caught with trawl nets. Fishermen spend about 3 weeks at sea fishing for shrimp. The shrimp is processed on board and quickly frozen in batches. A typical portion includes 4 kilograms of frozen shrimp sorted by size. If not harvested, these shrimp die or get eaten by larger fish. However, shrimp is a sustainable, annually renewable seafood. A new crop of shrimp grows and becomes ready for harvest yearly. Billions of shrimp are caught off American coasts every year. From Gulf to Florida's beaches, fishers use modern boats and nets. This supplies domestic markets and boosts global shrimp exports. The main feature of this fishing method is the trawl net. A large specialized net sinks into the ocean and is pulled behind the fishing boat. The trawl net's shape is like a flattened cone with a wide front, allowing for extensive fishing. The net's bottom is weighted down with heavy objects. A buoy secures the top, lifting it to catch shrimp. As the net glides along the ocean floor, currents push shrimp up for easy capture. The net's conical structure forces shrimp down into the collection bag. Strong crew members then haul in the trawl net. Shrimp are stored on deck for sorting and processing. In the US, shrimp fishing is second only to crab fishing in importance. In the northern regions, cold-water shrimp are the primary target. Warm-water shrimp are targeted by fishermen along the southeastern Atlantic and Gulf coasts. Detecting shrimp on the seafloor is challenging due to the lack of ultrasound-detectable bubbles. Sometimes, fishermen had to trawl blindly and hope for the best. Many vessels have now installed shrimp detection systems. The sensor is attached to the net to help reduce bycatch. It picks up shrimp sounds and sends signals to the cabin. At this moment, the screen shows blue water lines and turns red. High fuel costs, labor shortages, and cheap imports have made shrimp fishing less viable. Locals say overfishing and climate change have also led to a decline in seafood numbers. This makes it even harder to get a good catch. Over 2 million pounds of whole shrimp are caught yearly by 200-plus boats off Georgia's coast. Licensed shrimp trawlers do most of the commercial shrimp harvesting in Georgia. The fleet consists of fishing boats or vessels 55 to 75 feet in length. They fished for shrimp up to 8 miles off the coast. American shrimpers often prepare for trips lasting several weeks at sea. The boats towed up to 4 otter trawls with lines at the net ends reaching 55 feet long. A wooden door serves as a guide to drag and deploy the net underwater. These boats typically trawl at 2 knots or less than 3 miles per hour. Blue or yellow lights are often used at night to attract shrimp and improve visibility. This is a highly effective method for catching shrimp. Hauling nets is wet, muddy, and exhausting work. But it's rewarding if you land a good catch of shrimp. Shrimp's global popularity required both otter trawls and combustion engines. A small crew can quickly haul heavy nets onto the ship and unload them. New tech allows fishermen to explore previously inaccessible fishing grounds. Fishermen can also use trawl nets in deeper offshore waters and even in icy areas. Today, fishermen are very concerned about preserving the environment and shrimp stocks, as their livelihood depends on it. Bycatch is also a major concern for them. Fishermen use gear that creates an escape hole in the net, allowing large fish to swim out. Small holes also open up, letting smaller fish escape from the net. For 25 minutes, massive nets are lowered to depths between 300 and 500 meters. 6 hours later, it's time to haul in the net. It's the moment all fishermen have been waiting for. Everyone focuses on their task, as even a small error could put them at risk. After collecting 4 tons of shrimp, the boat's hold starts to fill up. Each trawl lasts 6 hours, and daily, this boat catches 32 tons of shrimp. Once aboard, the shrimp are initially treated to remove algae and other impurities. This is typically done by placing shrimp in tanks with filtered water to clean them. After cleaning, the shrimp are stored in large tanks on the ship. Some fishermen opt to boil them before preservation. To keep shrimp cold and fresh, fishers use refrigeration or ice to maintain proper temps. When enough shrimp are caught and the ship returns to port, they're processed for market. Shrimp may be packed in ice boxes to maintain quality during transport. Once prepared, the shrimp are taken to seaports and processing facilities. From there, they're distributed to domestic and international markets via various channels. The boat set out in the morning. It returned at sunset loaded with shrimp. This is the daily routine of shrimp fishermen. They work to add economic value and growth to this industry of seafood. Hey there, friends. Winter's a great time for a table full of tasty oyster dishes. Oysters have graced our dinner tables for centuries. Ever wonder where they come from? Today we'll see how U.S. fishers produce tons of oysters yearly. In 2023, the U.S. will produce 45.3 million pounds of oysters, worth $221 million. Oysters are produced in 3 ways: Natural, managed, and farmed. Natural oysters grow wild, available to licensed harvesters. Managed oysters are monitored and thinned to prevent overcrowding. For farmed oysters, fishers use traditional methods. They transport young oysters to artificial beds to continue growing. Globally, oysters are farmed in rows or tanks, a method now adopted in parts of the US. In eastern North America, oyster farming began a century ago to restore depleted beds and boost yields. Oysters spawn in summer when water temperatures rise. This starts the oyster farming cycle with fishermen collecting microscopic larvae. They provide anchoring spots for young oysters to grow. These oysters come from fishermen's island hatcheries and are nurtured in nurseries. The nursery stage grows oysters from 0.5 to nearly 1 inch. Then they're moved to farms in open water to grow to market size. When they hit 1.5 inches, farmers move them to bags to fatten for winter. Raise livestock without needing to feed them. That's right, oysters are that kind of livestock. They grow on their own, needing little human support. Past the larval stage, oysters feed themselves by filtering water. Bottom cages have become popular in oyster farming recently. Oysters live on finely ground shell bits in nurseries before caging. The cages are then submerged at rented river mouth spots for farming. Multi-level vertical cages let farmers grow more oysters. Oyster farms also provide habitat for young fish and invertebrates. Oyster farms have transformed flat dull estuaries into complex habitats. This invites key commercial and ecological species to feed and shelter. In Alaska, oysters thrive in cold, plankton-rich waters. Thus, high-quality oysters are available year-round. Cold water also reduces bacteria, extends shelf life, and ensures raw oyster safety. As they don't breed naturally, all Alaskan oysters come from Pacific Coast hatcheries. These cages house over 30 million oysters. These tiny oysters need constant care, or the whole crop could be lost. Oysters grow best between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Before spawning, farmers adjust tank temps for an ideal environment. Once placed in the tank, they transform into larvae. About 1 billion oysters are born in these tanks yearly. After netting the oyster spat, fishermen anchor them in the ocean or on the beach. Here, oysters feed by filtering naturally occurring plankton from the water. Farmers monitor weather, as excess rain dilutes water salinity, affecting oysters. Depending on cage type, farmers distribute oysters accordingly. Experienced oyster farmers often redistribute medium-sized oysters in cages. They reduce density for quality, removing 85, 90 oysters from crowded cages. The farmer then equally divides them among 3 different cages. The oysters return to the cage with more space to grow and move freely. As dusk settles over the Kalmo River, fishermen clean sand off oyster shells before returning them to the sea. They believe cleaner shells allow more water flow, aiding oyster growth. It takes 18 to 36 months for oysters to reach market size. After 6 months, the cage is removed and oysters are taken to production. Here, machines sort them by size. Market-ready oysters are exported, while smaller ones return to the sea. Ideal oyster farms need good tides for food delivery and waste removal. Naturally, oyster farms should be near seafood distribution markets. Navigating through icebergs, the boat entered the oyster farm. They harvested oysters in the frigid 7-degree water. The tough harvest filled them with pride, supplying through winter. Farmers rushed oysters to market, offering a taste of Maine's coast. Like Maine, Arcachon Bay's oyster farming is a part of local life. Farmers show visitors how to flip, release, or harvest oysters. Sounds simple, doesn't it? In reality, this work is incredibly challenging. Farmers spend hours underwater, manually rotating oyster cages. Some farmers use technology to do this more efficiently. This approach also makes harvesting easier for farmers. They stay on the boat, opening each cage one at a time. After decades of processed oysters, eating fresh ones in the shell is now trendy. Like wine, oysters are known to take on the characteristics of their environment. So that's great if you live in New England and love oysters. New England oysters grow in cold, rich waters, giving them a delicious, umami-packed flavor. Now let's take a trip to harvest these natural oysters. At 5:30 a.m. before dawn, he set off, following GPS to find oyster beds to explore. Like a gentle warm-up, he harvested the first batch of oysters before sunrise. The work continued non-stop until around noon. He returned with the boat and sold them. Interestingly, oysters can't move. Not at all. They float downstream, attached to rocks, and stay put for life if all goes well. The oyster has a rich taste, reflecting the salty, fresh flavor of its pristine habitat. Besides being tasty and nutritious, oysters help maintain healthy ecosystems. They're food, filtering out particles and pollutants, like excess nitrogen, from their habitat waters. Also, as oyster larvae cling to hard surfaces to survive, barnacles help rebuild coral reefs. The sun set as he slowly circled his boat in San Antonio Bay before the harvest began. Fishermen started setting traps, chopping oyster clusters with axes, and sorting them on the boat. They earn most of their yearly income by harvesting oyster reefs. The oyster season concludes in April with a flurry of activity. In the final week, they needed to work faster to gather more oysters. In 2023, the state will limit oyster boats to about 50 bags or crates per day. This quota must be enforced to protect markets and resources. Unlike oyster farming, fishing success depends largely on luck. Natural oysters won't look or size like farmed ones. But wild-grown oysters offer a unique flavor in return. Plus, fishermen avoid huge livestock farming costs. After harvest, it's a race to get oysters safely to buyers. Quality oysters are washed, labeled, and canned. Fishers ice and chill them for 2 hours per FDA rules. Trucks then ship them to US stores and distributors. Finally, they're on your plate at 40 cents per oyster. Special about offshore fishing vessels. Today, we'll explore how tons of tuna, mackerel, and snapper are caught and processed. From vast fishing grounds to modern processing plants, each fish's journey is thrilling and unexpected. Tuna is one of the most valuable fish in the global market, especially for sushi and sashimi. Japan is the top tuna consumer, accounting for over 60% of global tuna production. Annual tuna production reaches about 7 million tons. Main fishing areas include the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. Top tuna industries are in Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and the United States. Fishermen use advanced techniques to maintain high yields while protecting marine resources. First, the ship must locate a prime fishing area. Fishermen determine current and wind direction by the boat's movement. The net is typically set diagonally along the waterline. A small boat starts to cast the net. One person on board releases the buoy and upper net. Another person handles the middle and lower net parts. The net's head is then attached to the boat, floating together. Fishermen created a survival game at sea. They found the tuna school and set a massive trap. The tuna unknowingly swam into the net enclosure. When fishermen pull the net, it'll be too late. All the tuna will be on board. Tuna is lifted onto the ship by crane and conveyor. For quality, tuna is quickly stored in cold storage for freshness. Fishermen spend weeks at sea searching for tuna schools. Tuna's speed and range make netting them extremely challenging. Fishermen face harsh conditions while catching and storing tuna. They also use fishing rods and lines to catch tuna. Small bait is tossed overboard to lure tuna to the surface. Fishers quickly pull up tuna as they chase bait, tossing them on deck. This selective fishing method is used specifically for tuna. Only large fish are caught, allowing smaller ones to escape. Upon arrival, tuna are moved to large distribution centers. Tuna is sorted, packaged, and sent to processing plants. It's then cooked, deboned, and canned for consumer products. The tuna is cooked, deboned, and canned for supermarket distribution. Mackerel is popular due to its high nutritional value and unique flavor. The mackerel market is mainly in Asia and Europe, with Japan and Korea as top consumers. Japan and Korea also have the most advanced mackerel fishing industries. Fishermen here blend traditional methods with modern tech for consistent yields. For successful trips, they use large boats with GPS to locate mackerel schools. Each ship is equipped with ice to keep the mackerel fresh until reaching shore. The mackerel fishing season runs from October to March. During this time, water temperatures rise. Mackerel migrate west, causing their numbers to peak. Fishermen can easily secure a bountiful catch. Korea caught about 151,000 tons of mackerel. Cranes and conveyor systems pull the mackerel onto the ship. The fish is then pre-treated and stored in cold water to stay fresh. Mackerel fishers face challenges due to the fish's speed and deep-sea habitat. Trawling and handling the fish on board must be done quickly to ensure the fish isn't damaged, as this is crucial for maintaining the mackerel's quality when it's brought to the processing plant. Global annual mackerel production is about 4 million tons, mainly from the Atlantic and North Pacific. At the factory, workers separate the mackerel's belly and remove the intestines. The intestine is cut along the middle of the spine. After careful cutting, the mackerel is placed in a seawater tank and washed. When workers wash mackerel in seawater, blood and unwanted residues are removed. This cleaning is far more effective than using fresh water, keeping the fish fresher. The mackerel is then drained for 20 minutes. Workers sprinkle 2 to 5 grams of salt onto the mackerel's surface. It's then incubated for 7 hours at about 5 degrees Celsius and vacuum packed. Red snapper is a high-value fish in many countries, especially the US and Mexico. The snapper market is booming due to demand from high-end restaurants and cuisine. NOPWER data estimates the annual snapper catch at about 2.5 million tons. Notable fishing spots include the Gulf of Mexico, Texas, and Florida. Local fishermen have honed techniques to sustain and protect this seafood source. Gulf fishermen often use large, fully equipped vessels for their operations. These ships can navigate at sea and operate for days on end. The pursuit continued until the snapper filled the ship's hold. After netting, fish are hauled aboard using a modern crane system. To maintain quality, snapper is quickly stored in water tanks. For freshness, snapper is kept in cold storage at 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. Snapper fishing demands patience. Pulling a net is time-consuming and may yield nothing. So fishers must pinpoint the exact location of snapper schools. They often inhabit deep sea areas, making trawling challenging and demanding strength. To preserve freshness, the snapper will be stored in a freezer. Besides purse seine fishing, snapper fishing yields are also quite significant. Fishermen find catching snapper to be relatively easy, but consistent big catches depend on location, rod type, and bait quality. Snapper come in a variety of sizes. You'll see smaller fish too, but generally at 50, 90 feet they're 4 pounds. In deeper waters, they're 5, 10 pounds, sometimes even 20, 30 pounds. Besides eating it fresh, snapper's great for frying whole or in fish tacos. Its mild sweetness pairs well with almost any seasoning. Ever seen a massive marlin leap from the ocean in the sunlight? It's a sight that inspires American anglers every June. Hawaiian waters to learn how they catch over 1 million pounds of giant marlin, worth more than $3.4 million in just 3 months a year. Among the 4 marlin species in Hawaiian waters, Pacific blue and striped marlins stand out as the most sought-after game fish. The Pacific blue marlin is the largest marlin species and can live up to 20 years. These giants can grow over 14 feet long and weigh an astonishing 2,000 pounds. Their size is matched by diving ability, reaching depths over 3,000 feet at speeds up to 50 miles per hour. Their range spans from Hawaii's tropical waters to the cooler depths off California's coast. The world record, Pacific blue marlin, caught off Northeast Australia, weighed an incredible 2,181 pounds. Though smaller than Pacific blue marlins, striped marlins are more striking, with vibrant blue stripes along their bodies. They average 12 feet and 450 pounds, but some have been recorded reaching lengths of up to 18 feet. Striped marlins prefer warmer waters between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The most distinctive feature of all marlins is their elongated, spear-shaped bill, which they use with incredible precision to stun and impale large prey, like a 200-pound tuna in one strike. Despite their resilience, marlin populations face growing threats. Atlantic blue and white marlins are near threatened on the IUCN Red List, mainly due to overfishing. The United States has banned commercial marlin fishing nationwide. However, Kona, Hawaii remains the sole exception, with only 164 licensed vessels equipped for professional fishing. This exception exists because Hawaiians have mastered marlin fishing over centuries, making it a primary income source here. Kona's marlin fishing season runs year-round, with the peak from June to September. This fishing spot has seen some of the world's largest marlins caught, including over 60 fish weighing more than 1,000 pounds. These impressive catches draw top anglers worldwide for the Hawaii International Marlin Tournament each August. Rod and reel trolling is the most popular and effective method in Kona. It involves dragging lures or live bait behind a moving boat at 7, 10 knots, mimicking prey to entice marlins. Two main bait types are used in Kona marlin fishing: live bait and artificial lures. Live bait, usually big fish like tuna or mackerel weighing 10 pounds, is caught fresh on fishing grounds. Artificial lures, made of various materials, can mimic a school of 10, 20 fish. Marlins, aggressive predators, react to splashes and long bait trails, so artificial lures often catch them faster. Hawaii pioneered marlin bait development, becoming known as the birthplace of this innovative technique. Some skilled anglers use both live and artificial baits to boost their chances of success. Marlins are famous for their incredible speed bursts during initial runs. These bursts can put huge strain on the line, reportedly over 800 pounds for a big blue marlin. However, they tire over time and their pulling force decreases during the fight. Anglers typically don't try to overpower a marlin. Instead, they use drag settings on reels to create friction, gradually tiring the fish over about 30 minutes. Thus, sturdy graphite and fiberglass rods and reels are essential for marlin fishing. Rods usually range from 8 to 12 feet long and can handle at least 80 pounds of drag. It might take 6 hours for the first bite, but this angler's lucky. He managed to get a catch after just 4 hours of waiting. He quickly secures the rod's base in a stable holder to absorb the pulling force. Once close, skilled crew members act, using special harpoons to secure the fish. These large hooks, made for marlin's thick skin, offer a firm grip while ensuring safety for both angler and fish. Skilled sailors point the marlin's sharp bill away from themselves and onlookers to prevent injuries. For commercial catches, marlins are hoisted onto the deck using specialized lifting equipment. Once caught, marlins are quickly processed on board or taken ashore for further handling. In Hawaii, fresh marlin is a prized delicacy, averaging $11.95 per pound. Hawaii's commercial marlin fishing yielded 900,000 pounds in 2020, valued at over $1.1 million. Recreational marlin fishing in the U.S. mainly occurs in the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. Specific size limits are enforced to maintain healthy and sustainable marlin populations. For instance, recreational anglers can only keep blue marlins over 99 inches, while other species must be at least 66 inches long. Catch and release is a key principle in recreational marlin fishing. This practice keeps the thrill alive while allowing fish to survive and contribute to the marine ecosystem. If a marlin dies during catch and release, anglers may keep it for consumption. Both recreational and commercial fishers must log all marlin catches for accurate documentation. Zikari Seba fishermen also tag and track marlins. This tag, inserted in the dorsal fin or muscle, emits signals picked up by satellites, allowing researchers to track marlin movements over time. Instead of typical harpoons, specialized handling techniques are used to safely contain the fish during tagging. Once caught, anglers give the fish oxygen directly into its mouth while inserting the tag with a stick. This improves their survival chances after release. After the tag is secure and vital signs stable, the hook is removed and the marlin is gently released back to its habitat. While tagging tracks marlins well, tags can sometimes detach or malfunction in the ocean. Over 106,923 marlins of various species have been tagged, but remain vulnerable due to their extensive migration patterns. Satellite tag studies showed some marlins, like blue marlin, migrated over 14,700 kilometers across the Pacific Ocean. This makes conservation efforts challenging to implement and maintain. Europe has many crab species, but the brown or edible crab is the most consumed. Other popular types include the spiny spider crab and velvety swimmer crab. These crabs are mainly found in European waters like the British Isles, Ireland, and northern France. Annual brown crab catches in the EU exceed 44 million pounds. They breed from November to January, but harvesting egg-bearing females is prohibited for sustainability. The prime catching season is May to October, when crabs are plentiful and meat quality is best. These crabs can live 15 years, grow to 28 centimeters wide, and weigh up to 2.5 kilograms. Potting is the most common method used to catch brown crabs. In the UK, fishermen use parlor pots with chambers that crabs must navigate, making escape difficult. They typically leave baited pots on the seabed overnight and collect them the next day. This method is highly selective and minimizes bycatch. In parts of Ireland, a less common crab harvesting method is trawling. It's used in deeper waters where potting is less effective. Fishermen drag trawl nets along the seabed in fishing grounds. This method can be effective but often results in more bycatch and seabed damage. A crab fisherman's day typically starts well before sunrise. They prep boats, check gear, and ensure enough bait is on board. Next, they navigate to preset fishing spots using GPS and live maps, not old-school compass and paper charts. Here, each pot is hauled aboard and carefully sorted. Both claws of each crab must be cut off to prevent them from falling apart. Fishermen typically handle 300 to 500 pots daily. In 2023, EU crab landings topped 30 million pounds, worth about $40.4 million. To sustain this, EU countries set catch limits to prevent overfishing. Undersized crabs and females are returned to sea, ensuring future populations. Despite leaving the EU in 2021, the UK was its top fresh crab supplier, exporting 20.6 million pounds in 2023, mainly to Spain, China, France, and Portugal. This abundance stems from the UK's ideal crab habitats, with prime fishing spots in the Irish Sea, North Sea, English Channel, and Atlantic coast. After sorting, fishermen move to the next set of pots, repeating the process until all traps are checked. Most crab fishing boats are contracted by seafood companies. Back at port, the day's catch is unloaded, weighed, and quickly delivered to seafood processing facilities. The EU's most popular commercial crab product is pasteurized and canned crab meat. Soon after capture, crabs are automatically killed on a conveyor belt. They're then thoroughly steamed or boiled. Afterward, they're cooled and shelled to extract the meat. It's then canned and heat-sealed, ensuring a long shelf life. Finally, the cans are labeled and packed with ice for distribution. While brown crab is well known, another crab also has significant commercial value. Millions of European spiny spider crabs lurk on the Northeast Atlantic and Mediterranean seafloor. This stingray has been pursuing this group of spider crabs. It swiftly and ruthlessly extracts all the meat from the crab's shell. These crabs can grow large, with shells up to 7.8 inches wide and 19-inch claws for adult males. The European spider crab fishery greatly contributes to the economy, especially in Spain, France, and the UK. Fishermen must report spider crab catches online to managers within 72 hours of capture. Harvested crabs are swiftly transported to processing facilities. Live crabs on conveyor belts are quickly and humanely killed by automated systems, processing up to 40 crabs per minute. After initial processing, crabs are separated, keeping only legs and other edible parts. Facilities selling whole crabs keep them intact. Crabs are sorted and placed in containers with weight based on orders. Each metal cage holds 45 pounds of crabs. They're cooked for 18 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, ensuring well-cooked meat while preserving texture and flavor. Crabs are rapidly cooled, dipped in cold salt water, then fresh water, extending shelf life up to 2 years. While UK demand is low, most British caught crabs are exported to Europe, selling for about $24.99 per pound. The prized leg meat of European spider crabs comes at a steep price. A 2022 Fish Safety Foundation report estimates 100,000 annual deaths in commercial fishing. In the UK, fishing has the highest non-fatal injury rate of any industry. Despite safety improvements, commercial crab fishing remains one of the world's most dangerous jobs. Fishers face stress, exhaustion, and harsh weather, risking falls overboard and drowning. Even minor deck slips can be fatal, especially far from medical help. While Europe grapples with commercial fishing, Italy faces a unique super invasion threat. Blue crab, a Marlin delicacy, was accidentally introduced to Italy via ship ballast water in 2012. These aggressive crustaceans have become a major problem for Italy's clam and mussel industry, with losses over $108 million. This shellfish farmer often finds blue crabs in nets protecting his mollusk beds from other animals. Once blue crabs get in, they devour everything trapped inside. The crab population exploded due to its reproductive ability, producing up to 2 million eggs yearly. Mass capture efforts have barely dented their numbers, but there might be a glimmer of hope. Some reports claim the Italian blue crab is larger than humans' American counterpart, leading Italians to view them as a potential culinary resource inspired by Maryland crab dishes. Crabs started appearing in seafood markets and supermarkets, priced between $8.70 and $10.80 per kilogram. Though new to the market, Italy now has about 50 blue crab processing plants, providing much-needed income to local fishermen. The latest popular crabs in Europe are velvet swimming crabs, often called devil crabs. In areas like the Irish Sea, where brown crab numbers are low, velvet swimming crabs are directly targeted. But they're mostly caught as bycatch in pot fishing aimed at crab, lobster, and whelk. Minimum catch sizes for these crabs vary slightly by region, typically around 2.5 inches in shell width, ensuring juveniles are spared. The velvet crab's value lies in its delicate sweet meat. However, this quality makes them challenging to process. Unlike tougher brown crabs, velvet crab meat spoils easily when roughly handled or stressed. That's why quick transportation is often preferred. Thousands of velvet crabs are iced at port, then exported live to bustling seafood markets in France and Spain. Hello, my friends. The boat set sail and later returned from sea. This hunting tradition is passed down through generations. The vast ocean is where dreams of wealth come true. In today's video, we'll follow fishermen in Zautois to see how they catch tons of lobsters and king crabs. According to the Zabuda Department of Agriculture, American fishermen produced 280 million pounds of lobster in 2022. Maine is the largest lobster supplier in the US, accounting for about 82% of total production. Lobsters are found in the Northwest Atlantic Ocean. They're most abundant in coastal waters from Maine to New Jersey and common at depths up to 2,300 feet. Generally, lobsters take about 5 to 7 years to reach legal harvest size. On average, fishermen can pull 250 to 300 traps daily, harvesting up to 800 to 900 kilos of lobster. The lobster fisherman's day starts at 3 in the morning. Before leaving, they need to prepare fresh bait to put in the traps. In a small boat, fishermen sail to spots they believe are rich in lobsters. These traps are typically made of wire mesh or wood. Bait, usually herring, halibut, or other seafood, lures lobsters in. Traps are designed for easy entry, but difficult escape for lobsters. Each trap must have a small escape hole to protect young lobsters. The trap is submerged on the seabed at depths of 6 to 90 feet. They typically leave the trap in the water for 2 to 3 days. They then return to haul up each trap. They use a special hook to grab the buoy. The trap line is pulled onto the boat and attached to a hydraulic puller. The trap can hold up to 20 lobsters. After checking, fishermen return the trap to its original position. This process repeats until the end of the fishing season. The lobsters will be sorted on the boat. Lobsters under 3.27 inches or over 5 inches long will be returned to the sea. They also follow rules to protect egg-bearing female lobsters. This lobster fishing method is regulated to ensure sustainable lobster populations. Divers must work fast and precisely due to limited time and oxygen. These lobsters can weigh up to 44 pounds. They're strong in water and can hurt divers, like a risky ocean treasure hunt. Fishers' skills matter, but catch depends on location and weather. So this trip involves both speculation and luck. In 100 years, lobster fishing has improved in processing, gear, rules, and methods. The biggest shift in the lobster market is the rising demand for live lobsters. When people began craving fresh lobster, processors quickly adapted. However, this pressure falls squarely on the fishermen. They must catch and handle lobsters carefully right on the boat. This is the crucial first step for both preservation and processing. Soon after, direct shipping led to various fresh and frozen lobster options. On the northeast coast, lobstering is a centuries-old family tradition. The goal is not just catching great lobsters, but ensuring future stocks. The US is tightening fishing rules to protect lobster populations. Fishermen need a license to catch lobsters, following size regulations for harvesting. Now, let's join New Jersey fishermen on their king crab hunt off the northeast coast. Before dawn, the fishermen set out to sea in their boats. Their aim: to catch as many king crabs as possible. Fishermen use specialized traps to capture these massive creatures. The trap is box-shaped, made of steel and covered with nylon mesh. Each trap weighs 600, 800 pounds. A ship can carry 150, 300 traps. Herring and cod are often used as bait inside the traps. They'll drop these traps on the seabed where king crabs live. A buoy marks the trap's location on the sea surface. This is an ID marker to help with harvesting. After a day or two on the seabed, traps are pulled back up. This is the moment fishermen eagerly await to see their luck. The trap is brought on board and the catch is sorted. Undersized king crabs are returned to the ocean. Live king crabs are kept in tanks until sold on shore. A dead crab releases toxins that can kill others. Failing to remove a dead crab can ruin the entire catch. Fishermen must quickly transport crabs to port for storage. Alaskan king crab fishing occurs in fall around the Aleutians. Quality king crabs are then packed into their boxes all over the world. Only certain king crab types can be legally caught at specific times of the year. Like lobsters, only male king crabs are legal to catch and process. Beyond the nutritious meals and economic value, crab fishermen often trade various items. King crab fishing is extremely dangerous, with a death rate 80 times higher than average jobs. Statistics show that on average, one king crab fisherman dies weekly during fishing seasons. Over 80% of these deaths are due to drowning or hypothermia. Fishermen also risk injury from working with heavy machinery and equipment. However, king crab fishing income significantly supports American fishermen. According to Zekaniwa's Agriculture Department stats, king crab exports will hit $500 million in 2022. For Zekaniwa fishermen, ocean lobsters and king crabs are the quickest path to wealth. Despite rough seas, strong winds, and looming dangers, they still set sail. It's clear that fishermen are our closest link to the ocean. From ocean to dinner table, lobsters and king crabs make quite a journey. Fishermen play a crucial role in this long, complex process.